I'm Katie, the therapist.
I'm Josh, the younger son.
I'm Alan, the dad.
I'm Karen, the stepmom.
I'm Grandma Lois.
Eric, the grandfather.
Emily, the younger daughter.
I'm Andrea, the identified patient.
So now that we have completed your family ecomaps and genograms and culturograms, I feel like I have a sense of where you all are coming from a lot more, and as well as the things that you've been through in the last 20 years. It's been quite a bit. So for now, I would really like to hear your side of the story and from you personally, and I was wondering, what would you say would be the most significant event that has happened thus far?
Well, the most significant event that I've ever had happen to me was probably the death of my mom at 2 days old.
Yeah, Terry, my late wife, she, it's just she had cancer, and it makes me really worried that, with Andrea's potential diagnosis, it might happen again.
It was so terrible to go watch my son go through that, and Andrea, for her to lose her mother.
Probably one of the worst times of her life. We just want her to be okay.
I don't even want to think about losing my sister.
What? Are you gonna die, sis?
I'm not gonna die. God.
It is very normal to feel these feelings. It really is. To feel scared and upset, and stress, especially in a family, can do a number of things. On the individual level, it can make your heart beat fast, it can make you sleep poorly or feel sick, have all kinds of physical symptoms. One really helpful way, though, is to be mindful of your breathing, actually. And if all of us right now could just do a little mini activity, I just want us all to take a very deep breath and then let it out, okay? Let's do this. Good. How did that feel?
Good. It's all right.
Good. I'm glad. Well, there are other techniques, like exercise is one of them. Hanging out with friends, being social, having social support is another to reduce stress, as well as artistic things, like painting and coloring, and being mindful as well. But for now, I was just wondering, what are ways that you guys all deal with your stress? What's something that you can think of that you do to help you feel better during really hard times?
I lift weights.
Good, great,
I play baseball.
nice.
I like swimming.
Yeah, good. So do you remember last time we met and when I asked you to write a little story about your experience through this entire situation? Did you get to do that?
Yeah, I did. I actually wrote a poem.
Okay, alright, that's
Yeah,
great.
should I read it?
Yeah, that would be
Okay.
great.
Alright. Timidly walking to UCLA, looking around, she doesn't fit in. The sounds and smells remind her of her inconclusive future. Clammy, sweaty, her name is called. Sitting in the chair, unable to speak. Feeling the pain, anesthesia hasn't kicked in. Cancer was all that was on my mind.
That was good. That last part there, I heard a my.
Oh, right. Cancer was all that was on her mind.
Perfect. We really want to try to keep this in the third person. How did you feel while you were writing it?
I felt pretty good about it. I mean, some of the things were more difficult to talk about than others. But I think it was okay to write about.
Let's go ahead and start from the start, from the beginning, the top of there, and then we'll kind of dissect a little bit as we go
Okay.
down. All right? Why don't you read those first 2 lines for me?
Okay. Timidly walking to UCLA, looking around, she doesn't fit in.
She doesn't fit in. What about her doesn't fit in?
Well, she's just really young and she doesn't feel like she belongs there. Everyone else was really old and they had parts of their jaws missing, and it just, I don't know, she doesn't feel like she felt included and that she should be there.
like this is something that only happens to older adults as opposed to younger adults, right?
Yeah.
I understand. Okay. Let's go ahead and look at the next 2 lines.
Okay. Clammy and sweaty, her name is called, sitting in the chair, unable to speak. Next two.
What kind of feelings do you think were described in those lines?
Well, I think there were a lot of nerves with going through the procedures that I went through, or that she went through, and just kind of feeling out of place and not, that I shouldn't be there, and just felt scared.
And upset?
Yeah, upset, yeah. I mean, not many kids my age had to be going through what I went through.
Where in your body did you find yourself feeling? You said clammy and shaky.
Well, on my hands, I felt like my hands are really clammy and sweaty. And I've noticed that because I went to so many doctor's appointments before my surgery, that whenever I went to a doctor's appointment, I would get really nervous. And a lot of times my blood pressure would rise. And so...
Feel that heartbeat a little bit?
Yeah, and you could feel it. And actually a lot of the doctors told me that I had really high blood pressure, and then as soon as they kind of calmed me down with some meds, it evened everything out. So, yeah, just a lot of nerves though.
Yeah, stressful experience. Well, are there any ways that we could turn this poem to look a little more positive by chance? I mean, I know that you were saying you didn't feel like you fit in, but you were also a patient there too. You needed your jaw to be reconstructed.
That's true.
Or I know that it was scary, but it was also something that could have been, or that was, for the better, for something positive.
That's a good point. I didn't really think about that before. I mean, clearly it was a medical need, and without it, I probably wouldn't have fared too well. So I guess that's a good way to look at it in a more happy mindset, that I am okay and I am alive, and
You are.
that we all have tough things that we go through. Yeah, I guess that's a positive thing to look at.
Would this be something that you would feel comfortable sharing with your parents? Because I would share this with them in our session that I have with just the 2 of them, just like what we're having now, but only with your parents.
Yeah, that's fine.
You would feel comfortable with us reviewing that?
Yeah,
Okay.
that's okay.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
You guys have been doing so well. Thank you so much for coming today. Welcome. I just wanted to commend you, though, for all the work that we've been doing, how many skills we have gone over, and learning about meditation and relaxation, how to cope with stress, how to cope with negative thinking, and turning it to more positive thoughts. You guys have really come a long way, and I just want to commend you on that.
Thank you.
Yes, you are welcome. Well, it would be lovely to see in person all of these skills put into action, and I know that we just heard Andrea's story that we just read, and so I was wondering how you feel about that.
Well, just want to talk about
Of course, yeah.
Well, you know, I think after you telling us that story, it really brings more insight into, you know, what you've experienced, and I think that, you know, you're a really strong girl, and, you know, you're very courageous in how you've dealt with everything, you know, and I think it's really helped you with the process.
I just want to say how proud we are of you. You've worked so hard despite everything that's been going on. I mean, your grades are still doing really well. You're still maintaining, you know, your sports and practice. you're not isolating yourself. You're going out there, you're still spending time with your friends. I mean, we're just so impressed. And to top it off, you've gone to all the colleges that you applied for. I mean, we're really impressed and very proud of you, and I just want you to know that.
Thanks. I never knew you actually noticed all of that, and you know, I feel so happy that we're all able to communicate better now.
We are too.
And that was a great example of excellent communication in a family. Well job. Well job. Good job. See, even us therapists mess up communication sometimes. But I really want you guys to remember to continue these skills when you leave here. I mean, hardships are still going to happen, good times are still going to happen, and good communication needs to happen regardless. So keep up these skills and the great work that you've been doing.
Thank you.
Thank you.